So I hope you didn't miss the fact the sun is out in its fullness now. And remember, the sun, S-U-N, is always a symbol of the Son, S-O-N, that we celebrate today, the coming of the Lord in the person of Jesus of Nazareth. So as I began our liturgy, I asked the question about what attracts you? What motivates you? What do we seek as human beings? Our problem as humans is we don't really know what we're seeking because we're so used to it. We are all born, as you know, with a weakened human nature. So we don't always seek out the good for ourselves or others, and it's so easy to get self-focused that we need these kinds of events to think about ourselves and where we're going in life. So the image I'm using for that today is an ornament. Think about the ornaments on your Christmas trees. Most people don't think their tree is really decorated unless they put their ornaments on. And many of us save ornaments from year to year. Some people collect them and save them and treasure them. In fact, in our gathering area, we have a Christmas tree, and we're asking the children, the young people of our parish, to make ornaments to decorate the tree. So what attracts us? And again, as I mentioned, we don't always know what we are like because we're so used to ourselves. So what I've put together today are 3 ornaments to try to help us think a little bit more about ourselves. I hope it works. The last couple masses I got tangled in my cords. I was never any good at marionettes. Well, let's see. Here we are. Thank you, Tom. So the first ornament represents greed. Now, none of us think we're greedy because it's a bad word. And so when we look at the greedinesses of our lives, we want to bring into that the light of Christ. And that would be generosity. So we think a moment about the areas of our lives in which we are greedy. Oh dear. Well, you're going to have to imagine that one. Greed. And again, as I mentioned, I don't think any of us think we're greedy, because none of us are greedy in an outstanding way. But think about the little ways that we're greedy. Don't we all want more? Don't we all want to win the lottery? Even though we have enough, it's human nature to want more. Think about the Packer jacket that you buy. You don't really need another jacket, but somehow you want that one. Or a Milwaukee Bucks shirt. We have plenty of shirts, but don't we want another one? Think about our Christmas, all of the decorations, and how they seem to be getting more and more excessive. Parents teach their children this by example. Think about the gifts you give one another, the gifts to your children. Usually it's what they want. It isn't always what they really need. But that's a form of being greedy. Think about the lack of time we have and the lack of attention to others because we want it for ourselves. We want to be the one that is the one that decides that. What about our relationships? So often we get very possessive about our relationships, especially if they're romantic. We want that person just for ourselves. We don't like them being friends with anybody else. Think about getting promoted, giving more time to work. And who's the sacrifice for that? Usually it's the family. Those are all subtle forms of greed. And it's into that we want to bring the generosity of Jesus. And I repeat over and over again that our religion is not a religion of history. We remember the birth of Jesus 2,000 years ago, but we do not celebrate that now. What we're celebrating is we become the presence of Jesus in the world today by taking those areas of greed, bringing in the light of Christ, the Son, so that they will be transformed into generosity. The second one I have, if it works, is self-pleasure. Think about what areas of our life we want to serve ourselves. And as we bring the light of Christ into it, we will turn ourselves into self-sacrifice. Self-pleasure and self-sacrifice. So far, so good. So think about some examples of that, where we pleasure ourselves. The big one I always think about is that we all want to be the center of the world. We all want everything to revolve around ourselves. We want everybody else to do it my way. Think about the people you live with, the people you work with, your neighbors. Where does irritation usually start? Because somebody else is not doing it the way you want it done. Driving, waiting in line. Somebody else is not doing it the way I want it done. Think about other forms of self-pleasure. Think about our sexual lives and pornography, other addictions to drugs, food, booze, addiction to our electronic devices. How many people can't get off their phone, or they check it every minute? It's such an addiction that envelops us. We all want instant gratification. We don't want to wait anymore. Do you ever sit in front of your computer and it's taking 10 seconds to load or whatever? Don't you say, what's the problem? Come on. Entitlement. We all believe that we deserve everything possible. How often people tell me, you deserve that. Or I hear people say, I deserve this. We deserve nothing. It's all a gift. Now into that, we bring the light of Christ. And that's when we turn self-pleasure into self-sacrifice. Can we put others ahead of ourselves? In any and all of those areas I just mentioned. That's how we celebrate Christmas. Again, not in the past, but in the present. And the third area I have is power. We all want power. We all want to be in control. Oh, I'm in trouble with the microphone now. Hang on a second. We all want power. We all want to be in control. Now, if you bring the light and the teachings of Jesus into that, what we would end up with is lowliness, where we're willing to put others in front of ourselves in life and in our desires for how the things work out. Deacon Jeff, after Mass, it's your job to bring that cord down. So, power. As I already mentioned, don't we want to control others? Don't we want to control our situations in life? Again, where do the irritations come? because so often we lose control of our health or our finances or our relationships. We want to live by prestige. We want to live in a fancy neighborhood. We want to drive nice cars. We want to wear nice clothes as a sign that we're in charge. So many parents drive their kids to go to special schools. They push kids to achieve beyond their means. We like titles, education, initials behind our name. We like to belong to exclusive clubs or special credit card memberships to give us special bonuses. We don't take time to understand others. Do you ever think about the arguments you have? Do you ever stop and ask yourself and try to understand what the other person really is talking about and how they came to that conclusion? Usually we just want to force our way on them. We want to feel superior to others. That's all a form of power. Now, in any of those areas, if we want to bring the light of Christ, the teachings of Jesus, then we have to agree for a certain amount of lowliness, to put others ahead of ourselves, because that's what Christmas is all about. And I repeat for the umpteenth time, we are not a religion of history. We are a religion of the light of Christ in the world today through us. So in any of those areas, greed, self-pleasure, power, bring the light of Christ. Let it shine to you. Let it change us so that as we live our lives, we would bring His light and His message into the world. When we do that, that's the birth of Christ. Not 2,000 years ago, but today. Every day, the light of Christ shining in the world through us.